Okay, so in this tutorial what we're going to do is create an island level. So I'm going to start right from scratch. So in Unity we're going to create a new project, import the necessary assets, and then start building our island. So go to File in Unity now, go to File, New Project. Now I suggest if you're working in college that you don't save on the C drive, because anything you make will be wiped. So what we're going to do is going to save it onto the desktop, and then when we finish we can transfer it to where we want afterwards. So in project location click on browse and then select your desktop. Call the folder that we're going to create it in, call it island level. Island level. Make ourselves a new folder actually. Call the new folder island level. And then click select folder. Now the packages we're going to import, make sure you import character controller, particles, we'll use those for our volcano, skyboxes, terrain assets, and water. That'll do for now. Click anything you miss you can import again later should you wish. So for now click create, making sure you're creating it on the desktop, you've got your assets selected, click create. Now while that's creating, I'd just like to stress that it is creating the whole project inside a folder. Now you've got to make sure that you keep that folder together. So when you save that folder onto your memory stick or onto the H drive, copy and paste the whole folder. Don't just try and save a scene somewhere else. You've got to keep the whole folder together. So we'll wait for it to create and then we'll start building our island. Importing terrain assets now. Now the water. And away we go. So we can close down the this Welcome to Unity screen. Well, the first thing we're going to do is create the terrain. So in this version of Unity, go to Game Object, Create Other, and you'll find down here Terrain. Okay, so there we go. Make sure terrain is selected, and then move your curved mouse into the centre of the screen and press F, and then you can see our terrain. To pan, hold down the centre mouse button and just drag it to one side like that. Now the first thing I'm going to do is reduce the size of our terrain, because by default Unity makes a huge terrain. We can change the size to 500 by 500 by clicking on this little icon here, which looks like an old ship's wheel. So click on that, and if you scroll down you'll see terrain width and terrain length is set to 2000. Just change those to 500 and 500 and set the terrain height to 150. Press enter and then move your cursor over the screen again and press F. Okay, scroll in a bit. So that's our terrain now, ready to start building. Now, as we're building an island, what we want to do is raise this and then lower the edges. So in effect what we've got is an island in the middle, and then round the edges will be the seabed. So to raise the whole lot at once, select the terrain and then scroll up And then if you look at these underneath terrain script, you've got these little buttons here. So the second one along lets you raise the terrain to a set height. You see the set height here is 7.5. What we want to do is raise it to 30. So select that 7.5 and change it to 30. And then click on this flatten tool. And as I click on flatten, you'll notice this here will jump up slightly. There you go. See how it jumped up slightly? So the whole terrain now is 30 meters high. So the next job is to lower these edges. Okay? To do that, we use the next tool along, which is raise lower terrain. Okay? Now to raise the terrain, we just left click and paint on it, and you see how you get a bump in the middle. If I use the Alt key and pan, you'll see how that's made a little hill. Okay? Now we don't want a hill, we want to lower the edges. So to lower, hold down the Shift key. And we want to go right round the edge. So click on the Y-axis, and then you're looking directly down on it. And then hold down the Shift key. Got our brush size set to 100, our opacity set to 78. And hold down the Shift key, and then just paint round the edges. And you can see now how the edge is going down. Okay, so just keep painting. Takes a little bit of patience. Just keep going around there. You can do it in several hits. So paint again. So what we're doing here is creating the seabed, and basically a cliff right around the edge of the island. So curve off the edges, make it a bit more like an island. Make yourself a little bit of an inlet, make it a bit more interesting. And maybe make yourself a lake or something, lower in the middle there, so you've got a little lake. And now if you hold down the Alt key and your left mouse, you can pan around and have a look at your island. Okay. So the next thing is, it's like I've left a little bit there, doesn't it? So let's give that another little paint. Hold down the Shift key. Let's paint over that bit there. There we go. Okay, so now I'm happy with that. So, let's put a character on there and take a little walk around, see what it looks like. I'm always impatient to have a look at my levels. So, open the Standard Assets panel, open the Character folder, and I'm going to drag a first person on there. So just drag him anywhere on there. And now, with the first person selected up here, press the F key to focus on him. Now, as you can see, he's slightly through the terrain at the moment. So click on the Move tool here and just drag him up slightly. Okay. Now if you click on Play, you'll see at the moment what we have is just a grey area and a blue sky. And we've got that little bit of a hill that we created earlier. Okay, so it's not very interesting at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to do is add some grass. Okay, so to add grass to our terrain, click on Terrain, click on the Paintbrush, click on Edit Textures, click on Add Texture, and then see this Add Terrain Texture box, click on Select, type Grass, and let's select Grass and Rock. double click on it, and then click add. Now if you play it now, you'll see the terrain is all covered with grass and rock, but it's not very well lit, is it? Okay, it's pretty dull. So let's add some directional light. So game object, create other, directional light. Click on the move tool, and we don't need to drag it up, okay, just get a better view of which way it's pointing if we drag it up. Okay. We scroll around, because the light's not actually being emitted from this. This is just a sort of global lighting situation, and it's pointing in this direction. Okay, so it's not a point light, it's just a directional light from above and coming down to an angle. So if you play it now, you can see that's a much better lit terrain. Okay, you've still got that little hill in the distance. You see how you've got shadows on the hill? So, the sky's still pretty boring, so we'll kind of add a skybox to it now. Make it a little bit more interesting. So the way to add a skybox is to go to Edit and Render Settings. And you'll see on the right hand side here, in the Inspector window, we've got skybox material, and at the moment it's set to none. If we go down the left here, in our assets, you'll see you've got a skyboxes folder. So double click on that skybox folder, and then your assets panel, now you've got all your skyboxes. So just drag any one, Sunny Sky 3 say, into the skybox material box there, press play, and have a look what you got. So we've got a nice sunny sky now with some clouds dotted around in the sky, a lot more pleasant. Have a little experiment, try a few others. Overcast, play that. Overcast sky. Eerie sky, let's try that one. See, that's like an evening sort of shot. But as we're creating an island, like a tropical island, I suggest you select one of these sunny ones. Okay, so we've tried Sunny 3. Let's try Sunny 1, see what that looks like. It's very bright. Oh, we've got a sun in this sky. So that would be quite useful. Okay, I'm happy with that one. We'll go for Sunny 1. So the next thing is to create, for an island, we obviously need sea all around of it. Okay, so we're going to go to in our assets panel, we've got water basic at the bottom. So double click on the water basic folder, and you've got daylight simple here. Drag that onto the center of the island. As you can see at the moment, it's a lot smaller than the island. So click on the scale tool, which at the top left hand side I should say here. It's the right hand one of the 4 little tools. So click on the scale tool, and then drag from the center of the box. Dragging from the center of the box sets all of them. And as you can see now, we've just got the top of the hill showing, and I want the whole island to be showing. So we have to lower the water by clicking on the move tool and drag that down. Now, if we go back to our first person controller, move him closer to the edge of the island so we can have a look at our water. Press the F key to focus on him, make sure he's not falling through the floor, and press play. And now we've got a full island, we've got sea, we've got sky, and we've got a basic terrain there. So that's the end of this particular tutorial. In the next tutorial I'll show you how to put trees on there, how to texture the ground more, how to put and we'll start building a volcano, and we'll try different textures as well. We can have multiple textures. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.